everybody can be an entrepreneur if you can find a way to create value in the system. So it's just a great time to be alive. I wanted to sort of throw this in here as well. A lot of people always say, they look at entrepreneurs and successful people and they think, well, I can't be him or her, right? That person is smarter, better, faster, had more connections, had money to start with, or whatever. Now that I'm on sort of the other side, and I met a lot of interesting entrepreneurs. I gave a speech in New York recently with Donald Trump. So I spent the day with him, asked a lot of questions. I had the pleasure one day of spending the day with Sam Walton, who wanted to take me to lunch, and it was fascinating for me. So a chance to learn from a lot of people, and you know what I found out? They ain't so smart. These weren't people that were necessarily smarter than you. They didn't have an idea. Trump's case, he did. His father gave him money. But most of these people did not necessarily have money connections. They didn't have anything more than you had. The difference between the people you're watching on TV being successful and everybody else is they just got up and gave it a shot. And that was the lesson that I learned. I have a whole speech that I give called Get Off the Couch, because one day in my own life I decided if I spend one more Friday night sitting on the couch with a beer in one hand and talking about what we're going to do someday, I'm just going to kill myself. So one day I got up, I put the beer down, and I told my friends, look, there is one thing worse in life than failing, and that's not trying. I said, I can live with failure. What I can't live with is spending my whole life on this couch and wondering what could have been. So I'm just going to go give it my shot. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that story a little bit later about my sort of entrepreneurial journey. But when I got out there, I discovered that, again, the difference between a lot of people that might seem intimidating to you and you is nothing. They just got up and gave theirs a shot, and they failed along the way, but they kept trying until they hit something. So the point of this slide is, a lot of people say, well, that's not, why I couldn't do that. I say this for pretty much everything. Is it naive? Have I run full speed into brick walls many a time in my life? Yes. But I get up, dust myself off, go around it, and do it again. So the entrepreneurial attitude should always be that. Why couldn't you be the next Skype, the next multimillionaire dentist who has 7 patents because he came up with some good ideas? The entrepreneuring attitude has to always be, why not me? Not why me, but why not me? You should always assume that you can achieve that, because that attitude creates the reality around you. Everything that happens around you comes from that attitude. It's really hard to recruit investors. It's really hard to recruit employees when your attitude was, hey, this probably won't work, but how'd you like to give me some money? When you start that sort of ball of passion and belief rolling because you're doing the things you're supposed to do, it gathers around you. So I just wanted to say, the energy that you put out has a lot to do with the results that you get. Attitude is a big piece of entrepreneuring. And it doesn't mean you won't fail, because you'll fail many times, but you will be smarter every single time. And really all you need is one big hit, and it covers all your failures fast. One of the first things Trump told me was, he said, I filed for bankruptcy 3 times. And he said, it's funny how people don't talk about that and don't even know that. He said, I've had 3 miserable, costly, complete failures. And he sort of walked me through them, but my successes cover those, right? When we launched Priceline, we launched 5 companies in that same time period. 2 of them died an ugly, flaming death. We would have been better off, I told my partners at the time, we should have gone to the bank, taken a wheelbarrow of cash, a 6-pack, and lighter fluid. Because at least we would have gotten some joy out of that money, watching it burn in a yard somewhere, instead of the way it bled out of us. We had miserable failures, but we had a success because we kept going, the Priceline one that far more than covered all those failures. So let's talk about this process of becoming an entrepreneur. This is kind of an interesting thing to me, because here's what a lot of people tell me, and you already know that I'm going to tell you it's just one more excuse on that list. People say, yeah, I'm just waiting for, everybody's got a dream or an idea, right? And they never do anything about it. And they're waiting for the right time. And that magical right time is also going to give you the same invitation when it's the right time to have a baby, and it's the right time to get married, and it's the right time to buy a house. Those things don't exist. Okay, people spend their lives waiting for the right time, and it doesn't come. Nobody rings your doorbell and says, all the stars are aligned and waiting for you to launch your company. You just have to do it. Okay, it's never easy, and it's never the, quote, right time. But here's an interesting piece, especially now with so much of the older population of the workforce unemployed right now. It is never too late to start. And why do I say that? Because guess what's really cool about ideas? They don't care where they came from. Good ideas don't care how old you were. They don't care what color you are. They don't care what gender you are. They don't care what country you come from or what accent you speak with. A good idea is a good idea no matter where it came from. So what people need to do is forget all those excuses. Good ideas win. You know, people tell me now, because I sit on both sides of the table, as an entrepreneur and as an investor, and people say, well, in this economy, no one's investing. Well, is it harder to get money? Yes. But think about a couple of sort of facts. First of all, investors don't make any money if they don't invest in anything. Banks don't make money if they don't loan money. Okay, so in the end, somebody's got to do some investing. Two, good ideas always get funded. Even when times are tight, a brilliant idea always gets funded. So unless you coming along, like I said earlier, with an idea you only half believe in and you're telling the investor, this is sort of a crappy idea, but you should fund it, then you're right, you're not going to get funded. But if you have a place that you can deliver value in some food chain, and you've got a great idea, don't buy that. You can't get funding. You can get funding. Good ideas get funded. Okay? And it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, or anything like that. By the same token that a 17-year-old kid can start Skype, I've heard, plenty of stories. I had a list, which I don't have with me, of recent products that you'd be amazed at the age of the person who started it. People in their 50s or 60s launch new ideas, new companies, and new products when people would have said, oh, it's too late in their career. It's never too late for a good idea.